What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're playing Buddy Battles, a One Piece trading card game. So far, the leaders we see on here is Boa Hancock paired with Eustass Kid and Perona paired with Big Mom. All leaders are very good and effective. I believe the Boa Hancock was the first one to start, and it went to the Perona. Both just added one Dawn and passed their turn. Eustass Kid summoned out a Julie Bonnie for search, and it looks like it has a lot of great options here. We're only seeing the hands of both Boa and Eustass. He grabs a Cavendish, which is a very good card and built for a Supernova deck. Or all decks, all green decks in general. He passed the turn. We see the Big Mom player grabs two Dons and resting both Dons to summon out Charlotte Flampe. Not the one cost where you draw a life, but the two costs where it just has 4,000 power. And after that, he passed turn to the Boa, and the Boa draws and puts in two Dons. The Boa player likes to look at the leader to read the effect clearly, as Perona can rest a 4 cost to lower. Also, the Boa Hancock forgot to add a third life here. In Buddy Battle rules and terms, when each leader, even though they have 5 life at the bottom right at the corner, they have the -2 per player, regardless of life. But after that, he plays a Margaret, a 3 cost blocker with the on play of draw 1, and he rests his leader to attack Charlotte Linlin, aka Big Mom. The Big Mom player actually took a life here, so maybe there's a short hand of counters in hand, or they had a good hand in play. It was just a 5k swing. But after the life was taken, Boa passes turn, and now the Perona, as the Perona draws 2 Dons and draws their card. What the Perona could do here is probably rest the blocker, obviously, which he does. I think is not really a hard option there. It does have 3 Dons to play with, so we'll see what he do after resting the blocker. He seems to be holding all 3 Dons and putting on a leader to attack. I believe he goes for Boa Hancock here. Now, as the 2 players from Team A are discussing which counters to use, you can see their hand. Clearly, the Boa has actually really good hand to use a 2k counter and a Gecko Moria to bring it back, which is nice. Another 2k counter for Mihawk here. Okay. I believe the other player, Eustass, also gave up a 2k counter. I believe it was a Apu. And after that, Perona passes turn as Eustass draws 2 Dons. Rest as a Dawn to search again, because the searcher for Julie Bonnie can be reused, and they didn't attack it. The Eustass player is asking the Boa for advice. He has a Beige, a Killer, and a 7 cost blocker, but he goes for the Killer, the 2 cost blocker with the effect of 1 Dawn. I believe it draws a card on block. It's pretty good, very good choice. It's taking a little while for them to decide on what to do. I just skipped to the part where they do something. He summons a 1 cost Beige here and resting 1. And with the other 2, I actually don't know what he does here. He rests 2 or attaches 2 to his leader for a 7k hit to Perona here. He goes 7k to a Perona here, so it's a 3k counter. I do believe the Perona and the Big Mom decided to counter here with a Perona 2k counter and a Peckham's. And after that, the Eustass passes turn. The Big Mom player draws his 2 Dons for the turn. The Big Mom player decides to attack Charlotte Flampe to attack the Margaret, which the Margaret is a 2k power, as the Flampe is a 4k counter. And I believe the Eustass here is trying to decide whether or not to block to hit or not. So they're on decision making right now. I believe after a while they decided to let the blocker go out, as I believe they realized that the Perona could just rest it again. And now it seems like the Big Mom is attaching 2 Dons to their leader, which she has a 2 Dawn effect. When attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. If you have 2 or less life cards, add up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life cards. And as he's doing his effect, I believe he attacks the Eustass kid here. And oh, so he hasn't done an effect. He grabs the card. I guess he looks at it. We're not sure what it is. And he can actually put 1 back to the top of his life, so he could possibly put another trigger, or he can literally put the same card back to where it's at. And now there needs to be a 3k counter, and the Eustass kid just blocks it with Beige. So you can really see here that the fields are, it's pretty empty right now. The only one really with the field is Big Mom here. It is still early game, as we see the 3 Dawns start, and Big Mom has ended their turn. Boa draws. Well, technically they're supposed to refresh and everything, but I'm not a judge. We don't have a judge. We really just play to play. He draws 2 Dawns here. He has a 5 Dawn turn, and we'll probably see what he does here. The Boa here activates Hound Blaze. I think I heard him say in the video. So Hound Blaze can bottom deck a 2 cost or lower character on the fields. I believe it can be enemies or his own. And also grants 3,000 power to leader or a character card. Since he gave 3k to the leader is currently 8k power. He draws a card because his leader effect states that if a character was to be removed by a field by your effect, you may activate this effect and draw a card. So he drew a card, and now he's kind of deciding on what to do next. He does have 3 Dawns. Can't really play that crocodile or that gecko. He's eyeing the Salome, which grants 2,000 power to a Boa Hancock here. So I'll be an extra 2k power for 1 Dawn, I believe. So I'll leave him back with 2 Dawns. So I don't know what he's trying to do after that. It seems he's worried about the Perona effect resting a card. The Boa Hancock here plays their Sengoku by resting 1 Dawn. Still 2 actives. Sengoku, what it does is a searcher from OPO7 actually, so one of the new sets for the English One Piece trading card games. He looks at the top 5 and he can only grab 1 7 Warlord of the Sea type card. So right now I see 2 options of Doflamingo and Sabos. Very hard to see the card information as the hair is in the way. But maybe I'll just probably just skip to what he grabs. He might grab this Doflamingo. And I believe right here he decides to grab the Doflamingo. 7 cost Doflamingo. On play, I believe it does. It returns 1 of your opponent's characters with a 4 or less to the owner's hand. The Boa Hancock attaches 2 Dawns to the Boa with 6-7 plus the 3 from Hound Blaze earlier, so it'll be a 10k swing. And he goes into the Perona here, and the Perona instantly takes the life. Obviously, it's a big swing. Probably just the reason why he just took it. It is a 10k power hit, so that's a 6k counter. Probably didn't want to use any of the counters. Still at 3 Dawns. So far, both the Perona and the Big Mom have lost 1 life each. So 2 lives were taken. Eustass and Boa are still at 6 lives, which is pretty good right now for them. The Perona here is counting his Dawns. He rests his 5 Dawns to summon out a... he brings out an X Drake, which KOs 1 of your opponent's characters with a 4 or less. And he goes for the Bunny. After that play there, the Perona attacks base into the Hancock. I've seen from both hands, there is counters. Hancock looks to have maybe 3. I think he has 2K counters. He has a Gecko Moria, which he shouldn't use. Oh, he actually has 3 2K counters. And then I believe here the Eustass player decides to sacrifice their killer blocker to 1K counter. So after that, Perona probably has nothing else. Probably passes the turn after this, and it goes to the Eustass. Eustass draws a card, gets a Apu. That's a 2K counter in hand. As to Dons, I believe we're at a 6 Don turn. So from here, he most likely summons the Cavendish. I believe it will be a perfect play. Oh, he actually attaches one first for 6. Okay, he goes 6 into the Perona. So this is a 2K counter. I believe they're both deciding on what counters to use. Oh, the Big Mom actually activate a counter from the Dons. It's a 1 Don counter. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, just listening to the audio, he activates a card called Power Mochi, which looks at up to 1 card from top of you or your opponent's life cards and places at the top and bottom of the life cards. Then one of your leader gains 2,000 power during this battle. So obviously he gave 2,000 power to the Perona, which the Eustass attacked, and then the Big Mom player looks at the top of the life of the Eustass and puts it back right on top. So now that the attack resolved, the Eustass player rests 5 Dons of his Cavendish, gains 2 back active. Cavendish is a really strong card here. Rests 2, brings out a Kid and Killer, or no, not a Kid and Killer. It's just a killer. I'm sorry. It's just a regular blocker with an effect with a 1 Don attached on it, which allows him to draw a card on block. The Big Mom is taking a little while here, but he did draw his 2 Dons. He drew his card, and he looks like he's resting 4 Dons to summon a Charlotte Katakuri with the on-play effect of getting to look up that 1 life card from top of your or your opponent's life cards. And if you have less life cards than your opponent, this character gains Rush. So I believe he's going to choose on which life card he wants to look at. He might want to look at his life. Yeah, it looks like he does. So you can look at the... well, I thought it was only top or bottom. Or just top, I meant. But it looks like you can look at the bottom of his life cards and see what it is. You cannot switch or anything. You can only look at it. So that's about it. So the Big Mom here, the Big Mom player here set their life back in order. I believe he put it back on the bottom. He has 2 Dons. And it looks like he's attacking. He's attacking something for 6K. It's really hard to point out where he's attacking to. And I think he attacks for Eustass here. So it's a 2K counter, which you can see the Eustass point out on his card. They only need 2K. So he uses a 2K counter, Scratch Man Apu, which a lot of I believe Supernova decks have. Still has 2 Dons. Attached to the leader. Uses the effect. Adding 1 card from the top or bottom to his hand. If you have 2 or less life cards, you can add 1 card from your hand into your life card. I believe both top or bottom. So, as also... The Big Mom also drew different cards now. So they possibly have better triggers in their hand. So he's able to replace what he wants into the top of his life, which can be very dangerous for both Boa and Eustass here. He did attack for 7, but I'm not sure if he announced where the attack with. He attacked Boa Hancock here, so for 7K. That's a 3K counter. He took the Boa Hancock actually took the hit. I'm assuming he needs a draw for a card. He might have a better play with it. So they did take life. And I think right now there's a trigger going on, and whether he's deciding to use it or not. I don't know what card he drew. We're not seeing it on the video here. But I think this boa is thinking about it. And I just heard the Big Mom player end his turn. So we skip to it, and the boa Hancock draws their dons, draws their card. I'm assuming they drew their card, actually. We're at now 7 dons, and we're still at 3 lives for Team B and 5 lives for Team A here. Team A is boa and Eustass, and Team B is Big Mom and Perona. The boa here looks like he's gonna summon a character. Summons a 1-cost alone, which grants the boa 2,000 extra power. So the boa right now leader is at 7k, and with 7k he actually attacks the Perona here for 7 with a counter of 3 now. So we gotta see what both Perona and the Big Mom do. I'm not sure if their hand is big either. So there's like the 1k and a 2k from the Big Mom here. I'm not sure what card he used, but the Big Mom usually tends to have a lot of 2k counters. And it looks like he's trying to plan to summon something. I just saw a hint of Gravity Blade, which is very good, I would say, but very optional. He could just build a board as well. It looks like the boa decided what play they're doing. They summoned a Crocodile, which is 4 dons with a on-play ability of resting 1. The camera did die around this time, but I believe the boa's play was he rested 1 don to bring back the Salome, and he left a don active after he ended his turn. But the play here after he ended his turn, the Perona looks like they added a Dawn for 6k, and I believe he attacked the boa Hancock only because I see 1 life now. So the boa probably took the hit here. It might have been something they talked about because I do see the Kid and Killer blocker still up, so they didn't use it, and I think the boa just took the hit. But the Perona looks like, I believe they minused 1 cost into the Cavendish maybe, and then brought out the Brook, the Black Brook, the 6-cost Black Brook, which trashes a character of 4 or less. So I guess he wanted to get rid of the Cavendish, and I believe after this he passed his turn. Oh, he did attack with X Drake for 6. Oh, and there's a counter out on boa's hand. As you can see in the trash, there's a 2k counter there. So he took 1 hit and they countered out another hit. So that's what happened after the turn passed. And now we're going back as I fixed the battery. Eustass' turn is next, and they probably started a turn. I actually realized that we got into the moment where the boa took the hit here and activates the Gravity Blade trigger, which can bottom deck an opponent's character with a cost of 7 or less. So he bottom decked the Katakuri. As you see, it is not on the field anymore. After that, the Perona ended the turn. Eustass plays, draws 2 cards. We have a 8 Dawn turn now, which could be very lethal. We see the hand. We have a Hody Jones, a Law, and it's an 8-cost Eustass. Maybe a good play would be the Hody, or not really, because there's nothing to rest. You'll just take a life, but it is a rush card. Or maybe here he can play just a strong hit with the Kid and Killer. Oh, he has the Trafalgar Law in hand, which he could set the Killer. Sorry, I apologize. Active again after hitting it. Oh, but I believe the Killer has an on block effect of drawing a card, but you must have 3 or more characters. I'm actually unsure how the Eustass here plays this one. The Eustass here grabs 3 Dons. He attaches it to the Kidding Killer. Okay, so that's a 6k hit, I believe. Goes for life to the Perona again. So really afraid to hit the Big Mom here, possibly because of the triggers. Oh, it wasn't a 6k. He it looks like both were base hits, 5k, 5k, because he did a 1k counter. So wait, what was he doing? So he has 5 down. Oh, so he's playing the Trafalgar Law here. So he just did 2 base hits with his characters on board. They're probably gonna try to counter out. It is a 1k counter. They're really deciding whether to take it or not. Oh, he actually takes the life. Okay, so that might be kind of a game read right there. If they took the life, obviously at a very hard point of the game. Again, Big Mom does have the triggers, which could change everything. After that, the Eustass summons the Law, brings the kid back active, ends his turn. Big Mom draws the card, refreshes, and draws 2 Dons. The Big Mom here rests 3 Dons for one of the homies. I actually do forget. Is that the Zeus? Oh, he summoned the Zeus. I believe the Zeus homie rests the character, gives any Charlotte Linen character or leader double attack, I believe. So we have 5 Dons active, double attack. There is a blocker on the Eustass field, so they might try to bait out the blocker, I guess, or is that probably the Big Mom's only play in hand? So 5 Dons in play. Let's see what he does here. He might add at least 2 or 3 Dons. I believe the Eustass would just block it, obviously, because we'll follow up as the Perona leader, which they can just rest the character. Obviously, he probably use a blocker here, but the Big Mom here hasn't planned to attack yet. He's still deciding on what to do, and I'll probably just skip to what happens. Well, as soon as I said that, he actually did something. He rests 2 Dons this time. He brings out a stage card. I'm not sure what this is called. I'll probably put it up on the video here. It reads, rest this stage. You may add 1 card from the top of the bottom of your life area to your hand. Place up to 1 of your characters with a cost of 3 on top of the owner's life area face up. So I guess he's gonna try to put the stage. He's gonna probably put the homie up to his life, but he has to add 1 card from the top and bottom for the life area to his hand. Oh, he actually attached 1 Don. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. He attached 1 Don and goes for 7k. I heard 7k, so he attached 2 Dons. And the Eustass obviously read that the Perona is next, so he blocks it. And Big Mom uses their effects. But they didn't really need to. They already know what they have, really. So he just blocked it, and it's 1 Don. The Big Mom here ended their turn. The ball Hancock is putting back their Dons. I think we should be at a 9 Don turn now. So now at a 9 Don turn, obviously a blue deck can do crazy amount of game changes. Really any deck really, but I believe blue can do a lot on the late game. But you can argue with that. So I believe right now the blue Hancock is just looking at their hands, seeing what they're trying to do. Oh, he summoned the Salam again. As I've said, the crocodile. He used the crocodile effect to bring it back to his hand. Ball Hancock has a 2k power now. Oh, and he goes for attacking. 7 goes to Big Mom here. Big Mom's the only one with life cards. It's a 3K counter. I can't tell if their hands are short. And they might be short-handed because it is a base 7K hit here. Either that. Actually, I did remember seeing a Gravity Blade from the Boa earlier. And he did use a trigger earlier. Another Gravity Blade trigger. Oh, he actually took the life. Oh, and he activates a trigger, which is... Oh, Soul Focus. Okay, so this is a life or death, right? For those anime fans out there. Basically, the opponent chooses to trash or gain a life. Or give the Big Mom life or trash one of their lives instead. Very, very strong trigger. Very game-changing trigger, I'd say, maybe. Well, not in this situation. It really depends. Because it looks like, obviously, the Boa and the Eustass would rather trash their life than give the Big Mom a life. Because they're not really in the threat of endgame. Oh, he actually trashed his life here. Okay, so the Boa decided to trash his life. I believe I saw his hand. I didn't see a Gravity Blade. If that's a Gravity Blade, that's a huge blade. He did use Gravity Blade. Wow. On both Brook and X Drake. Wow. Gravity Blade is such a strong card. Very great play from the Boa here. And I believe he can draw a card. Yes, he goes for a card here. Which is Edward Weevil. It's a 1K counter, which is nice. He has 1 Dawn active. Maybe he attacks with a Crocodile here. For 5. So he attacked for 5. And I believe they countered out. I think the battery died again, by the way. So there's a big skip. Oh, never mind. He just countered a 1K with a Barcelino. So he threw a Barcelona away in the garbage. Wow. It is a black and green Perona. Most likely is a Gecko in hand. I believe that's why the Eustass here is looking at the graveyard. Because he sees the play that's coming right after. And I think Boa here ended his turn. The refresh goes. Draw 2 Dawns. We're at a 9 Dawn turn, I believe, right? So he draws a card. I'm pretty sure he's gonna summon the Gecko because... Yep, he's already grabbing all the Dawns here. 8 Dawns. He's counting the Dawns. Summons Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is very strong black card. Because it can summon a 4 cost and a 2 cost. It can be, one can be rested or one can be active. And he put the active Borsellino, 4 cost Borsellino, and the rested Hamelpo. And Hamelpo on play minus his 3 cost. He did it on the Law, on the Trafalgar Law. Which the Law is 5 costs and now it's 2 costs. Maybe he's gonna try to rest it. I don't think he has a 1 Dawn play here. So he does rest the Law here. Law is 6K power. And he attacks with 1. And he attacks Law here. So it's just a 1K counter. I believe. Obviously they should save it. I don't think it's really I don't really think it's a tough decision. It's a 1K counter, and you can save an attack. I'm wondering if... Yes, they did. The camera cut again. I see the Edward Weevil in the trash, so they countered out. The Law is still alive. He ended his turn. I think the battery is very low, so I'm sorry for these strange cuts here. We're now at 10 Dawns here. It might be a game now. It depends. There's no blocker. Oh, there is a blocker. I'm sorry. There is a blocker on field. He might go for the blocker here, and the end game would be on Boa. I don't believe the Big Mom can attack 4 times to try to go for a game. Looks like here the Eustass player is going to attach 1 Dawn into the Law. So 7k attack. It's going for life here. It's going for the Big Mom here. So is it 3k counter or a block? We're going to have to see what they take here. They might be deciding on what to do. I also forgot to mention, I believe the Eustass did attach 6 Dawns already before the attack with Law. So the Eustass is still active. I mean, you might be planning to reuse Eustass by attacking again. They counted out the Law attack with 3k. And now he attacks for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11k power. And now it looks like he has 3 Dawns. The Perona did activate Borsellino, a blocker, so they did not take life. Uses leader effect, trashes a card, and attacks again for 11. They took the life, and we're going to see here if Big Mom here has the trigger. The trigger of a... Cookie Nojo. Play this character. I think you just play this character if your opponent has 3 or less life cards. Which is very OP on buddy battles because we obviously always have 3 or less life cards. After that, the Eustass passes their turn. And now the Big Mom is at 10 Dawns. So there's 3 attacks. The best you can do is weaken board, but doesn't look like it be the case. He still has the Zeus. He could attach a double, or not attach to. He could activate it and give a double attack to Lin here. He attaches to the Cookie Nojo, which gives it 8k power. So it'll be 4k. So right now they're deciding whether or not to counter out. I think, there's an event in Boa's hands right now. I'm not sure what event it is. The Boa looks like to activate a event from what I'm hearing. It's called Slave Arrow, which you can add. You can bring back a card that's 2 cost or more to the hand, and it gives a leader character card 4,000 power. So he rested it down here. So he brought back the Crocodile, which is good. There's a 2k counter in hand. Actually, I think he attacked the Crocodile. I believe he cracked the Crocodile, the Cookie Nojo. Okay, so we still have 8 Dawns in play. There could be a double attack here to the Eustass. Oh, wait. I'm not sure if that was the play there. He could have... I believe he could have rested it and gave double attack to Big Mom and just hit with all out. Or hit with... He added 3 more Dawns to the Linen here. Which is a 4k, 8k. Wow. But they did have counters in hand. But I believe it would have been a better choice to rested the homie, gain double attack. I believe homie is a activate main, and then attach 6 Dawns to the leader. Maybe they could have countered out. They did have 2 Apus, 6. Maybe they could have made it. I'm not sure. He passed his turn with 2 Dawns active. So you can see that the Boa here drew the Law, so there's another 2k in hand. And another event. So right now, he really could just end game. There's no life or blocker, as the Eustass player reads. So you could just stack up 10 Dawns into the leader and attack directly, and that should be game. obviously we don't see the hands of both Boa and Perona, but it shouldn't. To be honest, the countering from them was not very well throughout the game, so it could just be an easy win right here. There is 2 Dons on the field though. Oh, he added 5k, so he put 3. Oh wow. Okay, so he's basically he wants to base hit and bait out any counter cards in hand first, because there is a 2 Dons. So it might be a strong counter with that. So first he attacks with Sengoku 5k into the Perona here. They're both at 0 life, so they can attack either leader, and if it goes through, they win the game. Oh. Oh, that was just a joke, or that was a fake? So it's a 1k counter. He this time attacked the Big Mom, I guess out of pettiness. I'm kidding. There's a 5k counter, or no, 1k counter again. Attack the Big Mom here. I don't know what happened to the Dons from the Boa here. Rest of the Don. And he activated Power Mochi again. So you can look at a life card. You can look at a life card here. Just looking at the bottom of the card. Puts it right back. I believe it's GG's here. Attach 5 Dons here to the Boa. Goes for game. Need a 5k counter. The Perona put in 2Ks. Okay, so it looks like the Boa and Eustass won this matchup. I believe the whole time they really had a strong field. Really, I'm not really sure. They just had good counters, I'd say. Both Perona and Big Mom didn't really have their counters, because I remember seeing them take life at 5k. But I'm not sure what happened there. But it was a good play from, I believe, Boa. Both Eustass and Boa, really. Strong attacks, counters, and able to get life. The triggers probably failed the Big Mom there. But other than that, it's GG's. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next video. I believe I recorded 3 games here, but this is the first one. And you guys have a good night, and please like and subscribe.